Hello, welcome to White Birch Tarot. This reading is for Sunday, November 6th and Monday, November 7th. And we got some really interesting astrological energy going on. My candle's out of the picture here. Let me turn it around just a bit. We still have the Sun, Mercury, and Venus all in Scorpio traveling together. So we got a lot of heavy, intense water feeling energy. And the moon is in Aries, which is good because that saves us a bit. It just came out of Pisces like a day or so ago, and I was really feeling the Pisces energy. Let's see, what else? There's the Saturn, Mercury, and Venus are squaring. The Sun, Mercury, and Venus are squaring Saturn in Aquarius, which is the only one of the outer planets that's going direct. Or did Jupiter just go direct? Oh, I forgot to check on that. I can't remember. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. I mean, it does actually matter, but for tonight, we're going to say it doesn't matter. So we kind of got a, I'd say this is a time more of kind of like deep emotional energy rather than lots of action. Although some action's trying to happen with Saturn in Aquarius, trying to bring in some progressive energy. But we always take a deep dive when we go into Scorpio. So I'm going to start off with a couple of quotes here. These are from the psychologist Carl Jung. And he said, if we do not see a thing, fate does it to us. Wow. There's a recommendation, to put it mildly, to, find out what is actually in your subconscious, because otherwise you're going to experience it in the outer, and I think that's true. He also said this, I think this is really interesting. Saturn is the matrix, and the sun is the light born from it. I love that because it kind of turns, we usually think of like the sun or the light creating everything, like that came first, but we forget that it had to have a space, a darkness in which to emerge, from which to emerge and in which to shine. So that's an interesting way to think of Saturn as being the matrix. So he was quite a bright guy, in my opinion, as if I'm the only person who thinks that. Anyway, I've laid out the cards. I haven't thought about them, so I didn't get mixed up. So let's see what we got here tonight with this interesting energy going on. And remember, the eclipse is Tuesday the 8th, which is also election day here in the U.S. I'm almost afraid to turn on the TV that night. I don't know. Anyway, we shall see. It's a lunar eclipse in Scorpio. The moon is conjunct Saturn in the North Node. I'm sorry, I'm goofed up. The moon is conjunct Uranus and the North Node in Taurus. The sun is conjunct Mercury and Venus in Scorpio, and they're opposite each other. So this should be interesting because, of course, the South Node is opposite the North Node, which means the South Node is with the Sun, Mercury, and Venus. So we shall see. But I would say, it's going to be interesting, to say the least. Lots of subconscious energy and feelings coming to the surface. I hope there's no violence on election day, but I could see that happening. I hope not. Okay, anyway, the first card I drew is the Page of Pentacles. So here we have the beginning of something solid. And this is a good card. He's got something very solid that's just, you can tell from the plants, this is just beginning to grow. This could be an action. It could be a thought, although generally Pentacles rule action, but it's something tangible, something you can really sink your teeth into. And so when I say idea, I mean, it could be you're thinking of a new job, or it could be really the birth of anything with Pentacles, but it's new. And so you probably haven't developed it yet. It's just sort of like the germ of an idea. And something moving on the physical plane. When it's Pentacles, it's always physical. So it's not going to be just an idea. If it is an idea, it's an idea about something that you're going to do or manifest. Okay? And then I drew the Ace of Cups. Cups rule water. This looks like Aphrodite coming out of the ocean. And to me, this huge goblet, I mean, look at the size of the goblet here compared to the size of the pentacle. So this is the beginning of our movement forward. Very small. And then this is like, to me, this represents the subconscious waters that we've been immersed in. Look how huge that goblet is. This is Scorpio energy for sure. And of course, the water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And as I said, we've got a lot of Scorpio energy going on right now, and that's where the sun is. This is Scorpio season. And so I believe that we have drunk a lot of unconscious energy. That's, not literally, but we've been dunked in it for sure. And we may feel like we've been drinking poison or, it depends on what's in your subconscious. It doesn't have to be bad, but usually when it's hidden, we've hidden it there for a reason. So things on the material plane maybe feeling like they're kind of slow. Look, I can't talk tonight. But on an emotional level, things are moving. Which may not feel good. I don't know. And then I get the Six of Pentacles. Okay, this is generally, sixes are good because it's kind of a movement. And this is someone giving alms to the poor. And this is generally a good card because he's getting ready to give this to this man who desperately needs it. But for some reason, when I first looked at the card, when it came out of the deck, my eyes were drawn to the guy who looks like he's begging, which he is, and is sort of praying, begging. And I felt more like the energy's focused on this guy rather than this guy, which tells me that we may be feeling very needy right now. And like we're, like we just don't have what we need. And that's why I think I drew the Page of Pentacles, because whatever we need is just beginning. So we may not feel like we have a whole lot yet on the material level. We may be at the beginning of a project, and we haven't really reaped the rewards yet. We will, but right now we're sort of feeling in the position of neediness. Like, I really need this to keep going. I really need some more. That's, excuse me, pull my chair up a little bit, and I see dots on my... Okay, then I drew the Chariot, okay? And this is, remember last time, if you watched my last reading, it was about choosing. And I said, it's not so much choosing this or that as it is something's in front of you and you have to either say yes or no. And I feel like this card is the same. It's not so much that he has to choose which direction he goes in. He wants to go straight ahead, but one horse wants to go one way and one wants to go another way. So this is the struggle inside us. We have to harness both sides of our energy in order to advance on, in the world. So this dark horse represents the subconscious energy. The light horse represents the conscious energy. And if they're not working together, and maybe that's why I chose that quote from Carl Jung. What did he say? If we do not see a thing, fate does it to us. So if there's something in our subconscious that's holding us back or something we don't know, we're not going to get very far, because, how far are you going to get when both of your horses are trying to go in different directions? So this tells me that we need to try to harmonize our internal energy before we can move forward. And then, did I draw them in this order? Yes. And then I drew the Three of Cups, which is generally, it can be like celebrating with friends, but it really has a deeper meaning. It kind of means that we have achieved a certain level of emotional stability, but we're not done yet because it's only a 3. So it's very positive. And there's our new moon that we just had the new moon in Scorpio not long ago. We've achieved some level of recognition of what is in the subconscious. And even just if it's dealing with your emotions, you've achieved something in the last couple of weeks where you've dealt with a difficult emotion, but we're not done yet. because it's only a 3, okay? Then I get Judgment. And again, this has been coming up over and over and over. And I feel like, again, this is sort of the point of this Scorpio cycle we're in right now, is to assess the situation. Where have we come from? Where are we now? And where would we like to go? Okay, past, present, and future. And Scorpios can be very judgmental. They're very good at critical thinking. Emphasis on critical. No, sorry, Scorpios. No, really, they can be very intense about, they're really good at judging things. It's very hard to pull the wool over Scorpio's eyes. So this is kind of a summing up again of, where do we go from here? And where have we been? Then I drew the 9 of Swords, which in the upright is, someone being attacked by the Furies here, or the Harpies, or whomever they are. I'm trying to think, are the Harpies the same as the Furies? I'll have to look that up. But this is like the kind of energy that gets in your head. It's regret over the past and anxiety over the future. So it's not pleasant, but it's in the reverse, which tells me that we have done some work on this and it's starting to ease up. It's not gone, or it wouldn't be here, but it's starting to ease up, I feel, because it's in the reverse. And so that's good. And then we end on a really positive note with the Ace of Wands, because this is all about a new idea, creative energy. Remember, fire is both spiritual and physical, which makes sense to me in a strange way. It's inspiration, but it's also the desire that leads you to act. And this is like brand new energy. And again, we've kind of been, last time we got the Fool, we've been getting a lot of energy about starting over. And this is a new energy, new idea coming forth, perhaps out of the subconscious Scorpio energy that we've been dealing with. Okay, let's see. Do I want... Oh, let's go for it. What the heck? I was going to draw an oracle card, but that's too easy for Scorpio season. Let's draw an archetype card and just see. Let's just see what happens. I hate these little... I know I obsess about the specs, and I should... Anyway, do I want this one? Kind of wants to come out. I hope it's not horrible. It's not horrible. It's the Eternal Child. So again, this tells me that this is something that we've been carrying with us for a long time, perhaps since childhood. But it also tells me that a good way to deal with this intense Scorpio energy is to take the stance of that quote from the Bible just popped into my head, unless you become as little children, you cannot enter the kingdom of God, or whatever. And I apologize for people who read the Bible a lot, and I totally mangle it. But child energy is good because it's looking at things with fresh eyes. Children see everything as new and exciting, and that's the Ace of Wands energy. It's brand new. It's like, okay, I'm looking at this for the first time with fresh eyes. So that's good. Let me pull one more. These cards are kind of, these cards can be tricky, so I'm not going to say I avoid them, but I only want to look at them when I'm feeling like I can. Okay, the Vessel. That's interesting. That's very interesting. The Vessel. So this is, I don't know why this reminds me of Scorpio energy too. We're the vessel, okay? And talk about, the sun coming out of the matrix, or like the light coming out of the dark matter that surrounds it. Here comes the light. It looks like it's it's surrounded by darkness, but I don't believe that the darkness is encroaching on the light. The light has popped out of the darkness. And we are the vessel, and we must contain both the light and the dark. It's not about thinking, because her head is gone. It's about containing it in your body, containing it in your psyche, which means your soul, not your mind, okay? So this is a very deep energy. We contain, well, everything. I'm trying to think. I'm going to pull one more. Who was that? William Blake said, well, he's the one that said something about infinity and a grain of, oh, I'm mangling everything. Never mind. But what I'm trying to say is like, the circle is, the center of the circle is everywhere, and the circumference is nowhere. And so what that means then is, if the center of the circle is everywhere, I'm sorry, I'm being kind of lopsided tonight, then the center must be in us, because we must be the center of the circle, which doesn't make sense, but truly the center of the circle is everywhere at the same time. And I know that's hard to fathom, but it just is. Okay, I decided to draw one more. This looks almost exactly like my wedding ring. I had turned it into a medallion because I couldn't wear it on my finger any longer, and the diamond's in the center, almost. And wow. Okay, so this is what we're reaching for, but it's also what is coming to us. And unfortunately, I do not have the book for this deck. I ordered it and it came without a book, so these cards are, I think they're out of print now. This is the Carolyn Mace these are the Carolyn Mace. I'm not drunk, truly. I had a square of chocolate, that's all, before, okay. The Carolyn Mace, spelled M-Y-S-S, archetype cards, I love them. But this is so, I mean, look at the similarity here of the spot of light shining out of the darkness, okay? So similar. They're practically the same. And we are reaching for it. And simultaneously, it is reaching for us. And this can represent the self. I see it as the self with the stone in the center, you know, like the alchemists called it the philosopher's stone. And when Carl Jung made that comment about Saturn is the matrix and the sun is the light born from it, that is such an alchemy thing to say, because the alchemists, if you are familiar with them, were the people, you know, hundreds of years ago who thought they could turn lead into gold. Well, I think some people thought they were literally trying to do that, and perhaps some of them were, but actually it was a psychological thing. And of course, in astrology, Saturn's metal is lead and the sun's metal is gold. And that's what the alchemists were trying to do, is turn lead into gold. So psychologically, they were trying to take the darkness within, or the matrix, the, you know, what is unconscious, and turn it into light, or turn it into consciousness, bring it up so that we can see it. Because if you can't see it, then it doesn't do you any good, and then you will experience it on the outside, which is the quote I started with: if we do not see a thing, fate does it to us. So, not to get all psychological on your butts here, but this is a very psychological reading. So this is the turning of lead into gold. We're going down for a deep dive into Scorpio, where, oops, knocked over my crystal. 7 years, but I'm just teasing. I'm not superstitious. This is us going down into Scorpio energy, which we are in right now, finding what we need to find, bringing it forth, harnessing it as we do with the Chariot, you know, making it our own. And remember, you cannot transform that which you condemn, deny, or repress. So try not to do any of those three things. If you find something painful, you must accept it first, and then hopefully have compassion towards yourself or others. This kind of feels like it's dealing with ourselves, but on the other hand, when I get the eternal child, I think, well, this could also be childhood wounds. So, not to make this too long, but this is a really deep reading. It's about going within and discovering what's hiding in the darkness. It seems like my readings are always about that. Apologize for that. One of these days I'm going to get a reading that's going to say, You're going to go to a carnival and, win $1,000 and meet the love of your life. That's I'm waiting for a reading like that. But no, I keep getting turning, going into the subconscious and bringing forth what's there. So, hey, I got to read what I get. So that's the reading. I hope it resonates for you. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe button. I think YouTube's kind of changed the page just a bit. But let's see. Can I hold this up? No, the light's in the way. Let's see if I can get the light on the... Oh, I love my new Mark Bolan poster. Can you see that? Love Mark Bolan. T-Rex. Okay. So, on that note, on that silly note, but something that makes me happy, find something that makes you happy. I will say blessings to you and good night. Thank you for listening.